Okay, so this is the agenda for today. Like, what are the building blocks of our of the nutrition? What are micronutrients? What are micronutrients and types of vitamins and minerals, antioxidant and free radicals, and where do we get those micronutrients? And there is one quick recap, and also I have included one uh, small video about coronavirus and how we can overcome that to by increasing our immunity power. Okay, so let me start with this. uh, these are macros means macronutrients, and these we consume from our daily diet. Like, we consume fat, we consume carbohydrates, and we consume protein. Okay, so for example, like fats we get from oil, ghee. Then if you are eating eggs, whole eggs, so from egg yellow, egg yolk, you can get fats, and those are good fats. And carbohydrates example is chapati, rice, grains, then potato, though fruits, those also come under carbohydrates. And the next is protein. Okay, so protein, many of you know, like we get protein from chicken, fish, egg. We get protein from sprouts as well, and also there are various another other type of sources of protein, like protein supplements, or you can get protein from pulses, then grains, etc. Okay, so uh, what I am uh, picturizing over here is like this is balanced nutrition. As you can see, here fat is written to 30%, carbohydrates are written 40%, and protein are written 30%. So the thing over here is, like, if you want a balanced diet or balanced nutrition, you can get it by having a proportion of 30s to 30s to 40. Okay, so with this balanced nutrition you can maintain your weight, and there is very low chances of gaining the weight. Okay, so what people do, like they consume a lot of carbohydrates. For example, uh, they consume bakery products or coffee, tea. Then they consume a lot of other stuff which are available in the market, like samosa, vada pav, and all. So because of that, the proportion disturbs. They consume very less protein, and they consume very high amount of carbohydrates. So it becomes an imbalance. So that's why people suffer from obesity. Okay, so if you want to develop muscle mass, or if you want to reduce fat, so there are a few changes in these proportions. Like, you can consume a lot of protein, you can cut down your carbs, and you can keep moderate amount of fats. Okay, so fats are good fats, and you need to consume these fats on daily basis to keep your joint functioning, your brain functioning. Okay, so fat are also essential part of your diet. So do you have any questions?
No.
Cool. So let's proceed. uh, these are the building blocks. Okay, so at the bottom you can see macronutrients. One more thing about macronutrients is we consume macronutrients in large amounts, so that's why the name is given macro. And above this you can see micronutrients. So what are micronutrients? These nutrients which we consume in very less proportion, like less than 5 grams or less than 10 grams. Those comes under micronutrients. Okay, and next is phytonutrients, and above that is fibers, and top of the block is water. So water is also essential to keep the balance. If any one of the block is missing, then you can guess what will happen. This structure will collapse, right? So you need to take care of this. So we will be discussing micronutrients and how it is related to our immunity, I will be discussing in the upcoming slides. Okay, so let's start. Here is one this thing like balance, how the balance is created. Okay, so I want to ask you, like, if I remove water from this side, so now sorry, now you can see this is completely balanced, right? Like here are micros and macros, then here are phytonutrients, fiber and water. So if I remove fiber from this side, so will it be balanced?
Uh, Sorry, Rushi,
No,
but
Rishikesh, it will
I
be not.
Yes, who is this? Hello.
Pritulia.
Yeah.
I said that it will not be balanced
Yeah.
if you remove fiber.
Yeah, that's correct. So fiber is also essential. Along with that, water is also essential, and phytonutrients. If you're only consuming, like you have a goal of building body, okay, so what your trainer suggested is to eat only proteins, carbs, and all. But if you are not giving proper amount of micros, or if you are not consuming lot of water, if you are not giving fiber to your body, then it will create an imbalance, okay, and you will not get desired results. So you need to keep in mind that these are the essential part that we need to include in our diet. Okay, so do you have any questions?
No.
Cool. So shall I proceed?
yes,
Cool. So let's study what are micronutrients. Here you can see a lot of vegetables. Uh, okay, so and these are rainbow color vegetables you can see over here. So these are the rich source of micronutrients. Okay, so as you know that uh, in our science class, like fourth or fifth standard, we have studied, we get vitamin A from carrot and all. So these vegetables and all are a good source of micronutrients. We get all the type of vitamins and all the type of vitamins from these sources, food sources. Okay, so let's see what are micronutrients. Micronutrients are needed by body in smaller quantities, like less than 10 gram per day. So that's why it is called micronutrients. And though they do not provide energy, but they are needed for smooth functioning of various vital body parts of the system. Okay, let's understand with an example. So for example, like a car engine cannot run with only petrol. Okay, so as it also needs gear oil, brake fluid, coolant, etc. to run smoothly. So in similar way, uh, our human body does not run only on uh, the food we consume, like uh, unhealthy food. For example, if someone is saying I'll survive only on unhealthy food, so he won't make it too long, because uh, the micronutrients or the essential vitamins and minerals are the lubricant, or are the main part of the body, part of the diet which he need to consume, so that his body runs smoothly, and he can keep his immunity at much higher rate, so that even if he is exposed to any of the external virus, his body will able to defend the virus. Okay, so and another important thing is micronutrients is required externally. Our body cannot produce some type of vitamins and minerals. So there is one exception, like vitamin D and vitamin K, our body can produce, but only in certain cases, like if you are exposing to sunlight, then only vitamin D will be produced in the body, and liver produces vitamin K. Okay. So let's see the type of vitamins and minerals. There are two types: fat soluble and water soluble. So fat soluble are A, D, E, and K, and water soluble are B complex vitamins and vitamin C. So let's understand the difference. So fat soluble are those vitamins which are stored in body, or especially liver, and also in fats. In one case, like if you consuming a lot of vitamins, fat soluble vitamins, then what body does, if his liver storage is full, so then body stores these type of vitamins in fats, and whenever there is need, body takes those minerals or those vitamins from fat. And in another case, water soluble vitamins, those are the vitamins which are not stored in our body. Liver also does not have any capacity to store these type of vitamins, and which is used and flushed out every day through excretion. In this thing, in fat soluble, there is a uh, risk of excess, because if you are overdosing it, then it is stored in fat, and in water soluble there is no risk, as it is thrown every day out of your body. Okay. And there is low risk of deficiency, because if you are planning to do some healthy diet, and you continued it for 2 to 3 days, then those fat soluble vitamins are stored in your body, and whenever there's scarcity, or if you are not eating some healthy food, so body will take those vitamins from your fat. So there is low risk of deficiency, but still you need not to ignore this. And especially vitamin D, there is risk, because most of the people are not exposing to sunlight, so many people suffer from vitamin D deficiency. And in other hand, like water soluble vitamins, there is high risk of deficiency, because every single day you need to consume this type of vitamins. Okay, so vitamin C and B complex are the vitamins which comes under this category. So any questions do you have in audience?
No, from my side.
Okay.
No, Ruchi.
All right. So let's proceed then. Let's see the type of vitamins and minerals. Like minerals, in previous slide we saw vitamins, and in this we'll understand about minerals. So minerals are of three type: macro, trace, and ultra trace. So macros are those minerals which are consumed in grams. Example, calcium, and electrolytes like sodium and potassium. So calcium, as you know that your bones are made up of calcium, your nails are made up of calcium, so we require calcium in larger quantities. Okay. And electrolytes like sodium and potassium for ion exchange and water exchange in your body. Sodium and potassium plays a very important role. Sodium you daily get from your table salt, but there is very less probability of getting potassium from your daily diet, unless you are not consuming banana or coconut water. The next is trace minerals. Those are consumed in milligrams. Example, iron. So you can get iron from spinach. It's a good source, but there is no such thing that we need to consume it in grams. So milligrams is enough for body. The next is ultra trace minerals. These are consumed in micrograms. Example, chromium and selenium. Chromium is responsible for accepting the blood sugar from cells. Okay, so if there is deficiency of chromium in your blood cells, then the blood sugar which is rotating in your body is not accepted by cells. So because of that, many people suffer from diabetes and they have a spike in the sugar. So let's understand why vitamins and minerals. So I would like to ask this question in audience. Why do you think vitamins and minerals are needed?
Hello.
Yes.
I think to have a balance in our diet,
Hmm. You are right.
or maybe if you want to live long.
That's also correct, I can say. I want to hear more. Like, what else? Why those are important? Okay, no issues. So I'll proceed. Uh, Here you can see there is one key. So it plays a key role in cell function. It keeps the immunity of cells stronger. Uh, there are various activities carried out in cell for energy production and to fight external viruses. So those vitamins and minerals help uh, to function cell properly. Another is it helps to convert macronutrients into energy. This is very important thing. Like as you have seen in your science class in schools, like there is one structure of mitochondria, right? So it was responsible for producing the energy in the cell. So it plays very important role to convert macronutrients into energy. It supports normal function of immune system. So if you want to make your immune system stronger, you want to fight external viruses. So this is very much required on daily basis. Okay, and next is the role of vitamins and minerals. So vitamins and minerals may have various other function like related to exercise and weight management. There are four major roles like antioxidants to fight free radicals. Then let's go one by one. First is antioxidants. So these antioxidants are to fight free radical attack. Example vitamin E, C, A, and minerals like zinc, chromium, and copper, and manganese. So, as have you heard this word antioxidants? Any of you?
Yeah, in chemistry.
Okay, so uh, what do they say about antioxidants?
Don't know much about it. Better if you explain it again.
Okay. In food, have you heard this antioxidants? This food have rich antioxidants, rich in
I never
antioxidants.
bothered about that actually.
Okay, okay, fine. So there are few fruits or few food items where you can see at the back of nutrition label that it is rich in antioxidants. So I'll explain what are antioxidants in the next slide. Just remember this antioxidant. Okay, so you need to see this, like what are the sources, vitamin, from where these antioxidants come, like vitamin E, C, and A, and minerals, zinc, chromium, and copper, and manganese. Okay, next is B complex vitamins, to aid energy usage during the exercise. During the exercise, we require energy for proper functioning of our muscles. Okay, so this is the function of B complex. Like this is group of 8 vitamins: vitamin B1, B2, B3, B5, biotin, B6, B12, folic acid, etc. So a lot of people suffer from B12 deficiency, and mostly females, and those who are suffering from hair fall, uh, they have biotin deficiency in them. So good source or rich source of vitamin B is or vitamin B12 or biotin is egg yolk. Okay, so you can get that from egg yolk and also from fish. Those are the good sources of vitamin B12 and biotin. Vitamin B12, folic acid, and iron to maintain hemoglobin level for oxygen transportation. So here also vitamin B12 plays very important role to maintain the hemoglobin level and for oxygen transportation, and this is connected to uh, the energy required during exercise, because when your muscle is functioning, it requires oxygen as fuel. So if your cell does not have that much capacity to carry oxygen, so you will suffer from muscle fatigueness and you won't be able to work out for longer durations of time. Okay, so you can increase your hemoglobin level by consuming vitamin B12 and folic acid on daily basis. So next is calcium, vitamin D, vitamin K, phosphorus, and magnesium. These are essential to maintain bone density and smooth muscle contraction. Calcium is very much required in muscle contraction. You may not have heard this uh, up till now, but calcium plays very important role in muscle contraction. In topic or protein webinar, I have explained how calcium helps in muscle contraction. Okay, so I'll explain a bit shorter. Like muscles are made up of different type of muscle fibers. Okay, and muscle fibers have deep inside them muscle fibrils, and those fibrils are uh, covered with endoplasmic reticulum, and above that there are small calcium sacs. So whenever the muscle is needed to be contracted, so the calcium plays an ion exchange role to carry out those action. Okay, so calcium is required during muscle contraction. The more clear idea or more clear picture you will get to see in that protein topic. So if you are interested, you can ping me, like, so I'll arrange one lecture on protein. Okay, so let's move forward. Now we are going to study what is antioxidants and free radical attack. So what are free radicals? First, let us understand this. Free radicals are high energy substances that are highly reactive and unstable, and those are formed by the byproducts whenever energy is produced. So whenever energy is produced, something like if you are using your car, and your car works on diesel, right? So energy jab energy whenever the energy is produced, some byproduct is released, like carbon monoxide. So similarly in our body also, whenever there is production of energy, uh, some byproducts are formed, and those are free radicals. So the more energy is used, the more free radicals are produced, and the more free radicals are produced due to exercise, aging, or any stress like pollution, smoking, sun exposure, or illness. So these are the cases where more free radicals are produced. Exercise increases the free radical due to high energy usage and high oxygen consumption and high stress. So we need to deal with those free radicals with the help of antioxidants. Let's see how. So antioxidants in our body. So antioxidant, what they do is they prevent free radical attack on our cells. So these are free radicals, and in the left hand side you can see green emojis. They are free radicals, and they attack our this cells. So because of that, the cell gets damaged, and our if the cell gets damaged, then ultimately our immunity also drops down, and also some people they look more aged than their actual age. Okay, they have wrinkles on their face, or they won't look good as per their age. So because of the free radicals, they have much higher free radicals in the body. And in the right hand side you can see uh, there is antioxidant water, and there is proper amount of oxygen. Because of this antioxidants, the free radicals won't affect any of the cells, and cells remain healthy. So let's understand in this. Let's see first these upper diagrams. Like, this is one stable molecule. Okay, so in the science class you might have seen this first in first orbit there are 2 electrons, next orbit there are 8 electrons. Okay, so this is stable molecule. But whenever there is what we can say, absence of a single electron in the last orbit, so the atom becomes unstable. So those are called as free radicals with missing electron. So what antioxidant do? Antioxidant have a much a larger number of electrons in their outer shell or outer orbit. So what it does, it gives its one of the electron to free radical atom. So here you can see these two are paired electrons, these two are paired electron, and this one is only unpaired. So it gives his one electron to free radical atom, so that the pairing happens and the molecule becomes stable. So this is how the antioxidant work. So any questions?
No, Rishikesh.
Okay, any one of them?
Just I have one question.
Yeah, sure.
I've told, what are the foods helping to
Hello.
gain your muscle fibers, or which type of proteins?
Sorry, can you come again?
Uh, what type of food,
Hmm.
or which type of proteins helping you to gain your muscle fibers or muscle?
What type of protein you asking, right?
Yeah, or normally foods.
Uh, Protein sources are various. Like you can get protein from eggs, you can get protein from chicken, as well as paneer, tofu, pulses, beans, and soybean, also from milk. So these are various different type of sources of protein. If but those are in general type. If you want to get like higher quality of protein which is absorbed by a body at
Okay.
faster rate, then the proteins which I have mentioned now.
Okay.
So you need to get, you can get those proteins from whey protein.
Okay.
Okay, so the one which I have given you is whey
Yeah.
protein hydrolyzed. So it is the fastest absorbed protein
Hmm.
up till by your body.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Uh, any other questions? Okay, cool. So in this example, you can see here is one apple, and you have also seen this type of thing happening to apple if you expose it for a longer duration of time in air. So this side of the apple becomes rancid because it is exposed to oxygen or air. And if you apply lemon juice on the other side, uh, it remains as it is because it has a layer of antioxidant on it. So antioxidant basically prevents the oxidation of uh, cells. Okay, so apple inside the apple also there are small cells. So if the cells are damaged, then you can see this type of thing happening to the apple. So these are happen because of exposure to oxidative stress. Okay, so antioxidant plays a very important role to prevent oxidation. What are the causes of oxidative stress? Here are a few examples. In diet, we can see medication and treatments. If you are consuming a lot of medications and if you are undergoing a lot of treatments under the doctor, so there is a cause of free radicals produced in your body. So next is air and water pollutions, then fast foods like McDonald's and all. Then stress also uh, is responsible for oxidative for this thing, production of free radicals. Then lack of good nutrition, then smoking, alcohol, pesticide, exposure to toxins, inadequate intake of foods and waters, fruits and vegetables, contaminants, excessive exercise, and inadequate amount of physical activity. So physical activity is also important. Okay, so don't think that exercise is responsible for producing more free radicals. So this is one scenario. So two ways of providing the body with antioxidants, like you can have rich foods, antioxidant rich foods and antioxidant rich nutrients from the supplements. So where are vitamins and minerals present? Like fruits, vegetables, dairy products, eggs, meats and grains. You can get ample amount of micros. So that's why whenever I give or suggest plan, I make sure that everything is included, like fruits, vegetables, dairy products, eggs and all, and grains as well. So here you can see a rainbow color. So these are phytonutrients. Phytonutrients are a combination of fruits and vegetables like watermelon, banana and all. So these are the good sources of phytos or macronutrients. So the top 10 antioxidant rich foods are don't know this name. Here are black beans, blueberries, cherries, capsicum, pomegranate, turmeric, sweet potato, tomatoes, and ginger garlic, garlic and onion. So these are the top 10 antioxidant rich foods, especially blueberries and berries or grapes also. Those are also a rich source of antioxidants. And those who are consuming alcohol, so they can take this thing, wine, red wine. So red wine is also a good source of antioxidants, but in limited amount. Okay, so these are the antioxidant that your brain needs: cherries, blueberries, pomegranate, avocados, carrot, tomato, watermelon, kiwi, nuts and seeds. So these are the all things that you need to include in your diet. I am not saying that everything, but few portions. Okay, so few portions of fruits you can have, few portions of salad you can have, few portions of nuts and seeds you can have. So your diet should be proper. So here's one quick recap video. I'll play this thing.
A,
Yes.
C, E, D, B, K. No, this isn't some random out-of-order alphabet. These are vitamins. And just like letters build words, they're the building blocks that keep the body running. Vitamins are organic compounds we need to ingest in small amounts to keep functioning. They're the body's builders, defenders, and maintenance workers, helping it to build muscle and bone, make use of nutrients, capture and use energy, and heal wounds. If you need convincing about vitamin value, just consider the plight of olden days sailors who had no access to vitamin-rich fresh produce. They got scurvy. But vitamin C, abundant in fruits and vegetables, was the simple antidote to this disease. While bacteria, fungi, and plants produce their own vitamins, our bodies can't, so we have to get them from other sources. So how does the body get vitamins from out there into here? That's dependent on the form these compounds take. Vitamins come in two types, lipid-soluble and water-soluble, and the difference between them determines how the body transports and stores vitamins and gets rid of the excess. The water-solubles are vitamin C and B complex vitamins that are made up of 8 different types that each do something unique. These are dissolved in the watery parts of fruits, vegetables, and grains, meaning their passage through the body is relatively straightforward. Once inside the system, these foods are digested, and the vitamins within them are taken up directly by the bloodstream. Because blood plasma is water-based, water-soluble vitamins C and B have their transport cut out for them and can move around freely within the body. For lipid-soluble vitamins, dissolved in fat and found in foods like dairy, butter, and oils, this trip into the blood is a little more adventurous. These vitamins make it through the stomach and the intestine, where an acidic substance called bile flows in from the liver, breaking up the fat and preparing it for absorption through the intestinal wall. Because fat-soluble vitamins can't make use of the blood's watery nature, they need something else to move them around. And that comes from proteins that attach to the vitamins and act like couriers, transporting fat solubles into the blood and around the body. So this difference between water or fat-soluble vitamins determines how they get into the blood, but also how they're stored or ejected from the body. The system's ability to circulate water-soluble vitamins in the bloodstream so easily means that most of them can be passed out equally easily via the kidneys. Because of that, most water-soluble vitamins need to be replenished on a daily basis through the food we eat. But fat-soluble vitamins have staying power because they can be packed into the liver and in fat cells. The body treats these parts like a pantry, storing the vitamins there and rationing them out when needed. meaning we shouldn't overload on this type of vitamin because the body is generally well stocked. Once we've figured the logistics of transport and storage, the vitamins are left to do the work they came here to do in the first place. Some, like many of the B-complex vitamins, make up coenzymes, whose job it is to help enzymes release the energy from food. Other B vitamins then help the body to use that energy. From vitamin C, you get the ability to fight infection and make collagen, a kind of tissue that forms bones and teeth and heals wounds. Vitamin A helps make white blood cells, key in the body's defense, helps shape bones, and improves vision by keeping the cells of the eye in check. Vitamin D gathers calcium and phosphorus so we can make bones, and vitamin E works as an antioxidant, getting rid of elements in the body that can damage cells. Finally, from vitamin K, we score the ability to clot blood, since it helps make the proteins that do this job. Without this vitamin variety, humans face deficiencies that cause a range of problems, like fatigue, nerve damage, heart disorders, or diseases like rickets and scurvy. On the other hand, too much of any vitamin can cause toxicity in the body. So there goes the myth that loading yourself with supplements is a great idea. In reality, it's all about getting the balance right and hitting that vitamin jackpot.
Like how it plays a very important role in our immune function also. Vitamins. Yeah. So vitamin C is also very important. Vitamin A is also important. So vitamin E is also very important. Okay, so next is coronavirus. Like how it is responsible for damaging our cells. So just one small video I'll be showing.
And turn them into virus factories. A protein encapsulates the genetic material known as the viral envelope. On the surface of the viron are S and HE proteins. The structure of the 2019 novel coronavirus is a mutation. For more information on this, see the link below. The large S glycoproteins are used by the virus to gain entry to human cells. They most likely attach to angiotensin-converting enzyme 2 receptors on the cell membrane, allowing the virus entry. The exact mechanism for this is not known. Most likely, as shown here, the human cell ingests the virus in a process known as endocytosis. Once inside the cytoplasm, the endosome opens to reveal the virus's genetic material, a single-stranded RNA. The virus hijacks the cell's machinery to replicate the RNA in N proteins and uses the endoplasmic reticulum to form its M protein outer layer and the all-important S protein. After replication, the virus is carried by the Golgi bodies out of the cell in a process known as exocytosis, so that it can infect other cells. Meanwhile, the stress of viral production on the endoplasmic reticulum eventually leads to apoptosis, or cell death. It should be noted that the mechanism of action for 2019 novel coronavirus is unknown. However, scientists in China have sequenced the genome, while others have used the sequencing to visualize the structure. There is currently no cure or vaccine for the 2019 novel coronavirus, and treatment is only supportive. Therefore, preventing transmission is paramount. As an airborne virus, recommended precautions are similar to those for preventing the flu. This includes washing hands regularly with soap and water for 20 seconds, covering sneezes and coughs with the inside of the elbow, refraining from touching high contact surfaces like railings and doorknobs. If you use tissues, throw them away immediately. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. For more info on precautions,
have you seen, guys? Hello. Like how this coronavirus attacks our cell. So if your cells are weak, then there is a high chance that your cell membrane may be attacked. Okay, so to make your cell strong, you need to consume a large amount of microbes to increase the immunity of your cell. So in the next video I'll be showing you like the cell versus virus, how actually the battle happens between cell and a virus. Can you mute your mic, please? Someone is on unmute status, so can you please mute?
You're in line at the grocery store when, someone sneezes on you. The cold virus is sucked inside your lungs and lands on a cell on your airway lining. Every living thing on Earth is made of cells, from the smallest one-celled bacteria to the giant blue whale, to you. Each cell in your body is surrounded by a cell membrane, a thick, flexible layer made of fats and proteins that surrounds and protects the inner components. It's semi-permeable, meaning that it lets some things pass in and out, but blocks others. The cell membrane is covered with tiny projections. They all have functions, like helping cells adhere to their neighbors or binding to nutrients the cell will need. Animal and plant cells have cell membranes, only plant cells have a cell wall, which is made of rigid cellulose that gives the plant structure. The virus that was sneezed into your lungs is sneaky. Pretending to be a friend, it attaches to a projection on the cell membrane, and the cell brings it through the cell membrane and inside. When the virus gets through, the cell recognizes its mistake. An enemy is inside. Special enzymes arrive at the scene and chop the virus to pieces. They then send one of the pieces back through the cell membrane, where the cell displays it to warn neighboring cells about the invader. A nearby cell sees the warning and immediately goes into action. It needs to make antibodies, proteins that will attack and kill the invading virus. This process starts in the nucleus. The nucleus contains our DNA, the blueprint that tells our cells how to make everything our bodies need to function. A certain section of our DNA contains instructions that tell our cells how to make antibodies. Enzymes in the nucleus find the right section of DNA, then create a copy of these instructions called messenger RNA. The messenger RNA leaves the nucleus to carry out its orders. The messenger RNA travels to a ribosome. There can be as many as 10 million ribosomes in a human cell, all studded along a ribbon-like structure called the endoplasmic reticulum. This ribosome reads the instructions from the nucleus. It takes amino acids and links them together one by one, creating an antibody protein that will go fight the virus. But before it can do that, the antibody needs to leave the cell. The antibody heads to the Golgi apparatus. Here, it's packed up for delivery outside the cell. Enclosed in a bubble made of the same material as the cell membrane. The Golgi apparatus also gives the antibody directions, telling it how to get to the edge of the cell. When it gets there, the bubble surrounding the antibody fuses to the cell membrane. The cell ejects the antibody, and it heads out to track down the virus. The leftover bubble will be broken down by the cell's lysosomes, and its pieces recycled over and over again. Where did the cell get the energy to do all this? That's the role of the mitochondria. To make energy, the mitochondria takes oxygen, this is the only reason we breathe it, and adds electrons from the food we eat to make water molecules. That process also creates a high-energy molecule called ATP, which the cell uses to power all of its parts. Plant cells make energy a different way. They have chloroplasts that combine carbon dioxide and water with light energy from the sun to create oxygen and sugar, a form of chemical energy. All the parts of a cell have to work together to keep things running smoothly. And all the cells of your body have to work together to keep you running smoothly. That's a whole lot of cells. Scientists think there are about 37 trillion of them.
Hello. So you have seen that how the cell attacks the virus. So protein also plays very important role in antibodies production. Okay, so we need to consume protein on daily basis, and we also need to make sure that proper energy production is done in our cells uh, in the form of ATP. So like to enhance the energy production from ATP, we can there's one way, like we can enhance that thing by consuming creatine. Okay, so creatine is also present in fish, uh, chicken, and also in red meat. So but nowadays since we are seeing in the market condition, like uh, there is a chance of getting infection from non-veg or other non-veg sources, so people are not consuming those type of foods. So you can get that food from the protein which I have recently launched. So it has the highest quality of protein. As I said, whey protein hydrolyzed is the purest form of the protein, and it also has creatine monohydrate present in it as per the guidelines of RDA. So it won't harm you. Few people have myth that creatine can uh, uh, harm your body parts, but it's just a myth. Okay, nothing else. So if you are consuming it in a proper amount, so it will help your body to create more energy in the form of ATP. So creatine is used to produce more ATP, which is a key source of energy in heavy lifting and high intensity exercise. So this is the role of creatine. And if you are consuming creatine on your daily basis also, like in your diet, or if you are not working out but still if you are getting creatine as per the RDA guidelines, so then it also helps for energy production to fight the external viruses, so that your antibodies which are produced will be healthy, and it will be produced at much higher rate than usuals. Okay, so the things you need to keep in mind is, like in this period or in this stage, you have seen many cases of coronaviruses in the market. So you need to consume protein on daily basis, so that there is high production of antibodies, and also to make that production you need to produce, your cells need to produce more ATP. So creatine helps to produce large amount of ATP. Okay, so this thing this is the thing that I am not saying. Here's one article, Healthline. This is a very famous website, so for nutrition information. So you can check this website, and you can study the benefits of creatine and how does it helps. Okay, so if you want to buy this protein, you can visit my website. I'll drop the link in the chat, or if you are watching this video on YouTube, so I'll be giving the link on my website on that description. Okay, so that's all for the day. So here's one very good quote, like take care of your body, it's the only place where you have to live in. Okay, so you need to take this very seriously, because that is the only place where we live till until we die. Okay, so this is the series which I cover on every weekends. Like first topic is protein, then carbohydrates, then fiber, sugars, fats, vitamins and minerals is a topic which we covered now. So it also it's also related to your immunity, so that's why I choose this topic. And next is meal planning, then minerals and fluids and hydration, then metabolism, nutrition label, digestive health. So this is the nutrition academy topics. There is one another series related to exercise and sports. So that's HG7 Sports Academy, where all the body parts or all the muscle groups are covered separately uh, with their anatomy and exercises. So if you want to register for those programs, you can uh, sign up for 6 weeks, or there is also 12 weeks program. Okay, so you can visit my Facebook page, or you can visit my website www.hg7profitness.com. So thank you guys, and thanks for watching.